A cook 150 miles offshore has 18 minutes to feed 100 workers, and the menu was planned 6 weeks ago. This is how it works. You are standing in the Gulf of Mexico on a drilling platform the size of a football field. It is 5:45 in the morning. The day cook has been awake since 4:30 in the morning. In 15 minutes, the first shift will flood the galley for breakfast. That shift includes roughnecks, drillers, crane operators, and maintenance techs. They have been working 12-hour shifts in salt spray and machinery noise, and they are hungry. The cook has eggs, bacon, sausage, pancakes, grits, toast, and coffee ready to go. Everything is laid out cafeteria style in long steam trays on Formica tables. The cook will serve 100 people in 18 minutes, clean up, and start preparing lunch. Then dinner. Then the mid-shift meal at midnight. Then breakfast again. A typical rig that holds 100 people serves 400 to 600 plus meals every single day. Not just 3 meals. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, plus mid-shift snacks and meals every few hours, around the clock, because the rig never stops. Crews work in overlapping 12-hour rotations. Some start at 6 in the morning, some at 6 in the evening, some work nights. The galley operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the cook planned every one of those meals before the rig even left port. Here's why that matters. Offshore work is brutal. 12-hour shifts, physical labor, isolation, no weekends. You are 100 to 200 miles from shore, stuck on a platform with the same 100 people for 2 weeks straight, sometimes 4 weeks. The galley is the only break. It is where you sit down, decompress, complain, and bond. A bad meal does not just disappoint, it tanks morale. Workers get fatigued, mistakes happen, people quit. Some companies budget $4 to $22 per person per day for food, depending on the contract and the region. During oil booms in the Gulf of Mexico, vessels spent $30,000 per week on groceries. That meant ribeye steaks, crab legs, shrimp, and fresh vegetables. When oil prices crashed, menus shifted to frozen pizzas and cost cutting. Crews noticed, turnover spiked. Replacing a skilled offshore worker costs tens of thousands of dollars in recruitment and training. The galley is not overhead, it is retention infrastructure. And the cook planned this menu before the rig even left port. Offshore galleys don't improvise. Supply vessels and helicopters arrive once per week from shore bases. If the cook forgets an ingredient or misjudges demand, there is no corner store, so menus are planned 7 to 28 days in advance. The cook orders from distributors on shore, accounting for crew size, dietary restrictions, shift schedules, and storage capacity. Walk-in refrigerators and freezers, some the size of a 2-car garage, hold everything. Refrigerated shipping containers certified to date Norska Veritas 2.71 or European norm, 12079 standards, transport perishables, and can maintain temperatures as low as minus 70 degrees Celsius or minus 94 degrees Fahrenheit for sensitive cargo. Once those supplies are loaded, the cook is locked in. The inventory is a forward-deployed logistics problem. Predict consumption 6 weeks out, then execute flawlessly. If you run out of eggs on day 10, breakfast is toast and coffee for 4 days until the next delivery. The galley itself is industrial. Gas ranges, convection ovens, deep fryers, large steam kettles, industrial mixers, walk-in cold storage. Dining areas range from 4 seats on small platforms to 150 seats on large rigs. Food is served cafeteria style. Coffee is always brewing 24 hours a day. The galley crew consists of 5 to 6 people, day cooks, or night bakers, galley hands who wash dishes and prep ingredients, utility workers, and a camp boss or catering manager who oversees everything, orders supplies, and enforces food. Safety protocols. Those protocols are strict. Offshore catering operations must comply with hazard analysis and critical control point systems aligned with United States Food and Drug Administration regulations. Cooks require food handling certifications and maritime or offshore food safety training. A foodborne illness outbreak offshore triggers medical evacuations, downtime, and regulatory scrutiny. The cook is not just feeding people, they are managing risk. But the real challenge is not the equipment, it is the clock. Offshore cooks work 12-hour shifts on rotational schedules, 14 days on, 14 days off, or 28 days on, 28 days off. Day cooks start before dawn. Night cooks or night bakers handle overnight and early morning prep. Meals must hit narrow service windows, breakfast at 6 a.m., lunch at noon, dinner at 6 p.m., plus mid-shift meals every few hours. Workers rotate through in tight groups because they are coming off shift or heading out to the drill floor, the crane, or the mud tanks. Miss the window by 20 minutes and half the crew goes hungry. There is no flexibility, the schedule is locked, and the cook is alone in the galley at 3 a.m., prepping 80 pounds of potatoes for breakfast while the night baker pulls cinnamon rolls out of the oven. Offshore food culture runs on ritual. Traditionally, Gulf of Mexico rigs served steak on Tuesday and Saturday, seafood on Friday, and fried chicken on Sunday. Modern menus have evolved, and Taco Tuesday has replaced Steak Day on many rigs, with themed days throughout the week like Junk Food Monday, Barbecue Wednesday, Asian Thursday, Seafood Friday, and Soul Food Sunday, but the ritual remains the same. Crews can still identify the day of the week purely by what is on their plate. These traditions anchor workers in a timeless, isolated environment where days blur together. The galley becomes the social center. It is where you eat, argue about football, complain about the tool pusher, and kill time between shifts. Coffee is always available. The ritual matters because nothing else changes. Same ocean, same noise, same faces. But Tuesday is taco day, and that is something you can count on. Some cooks have tried to break the pattern. One offshore chef attempted lamb's brains. The crew refused to eat them. So the chef crumbled the brains, deep-fried them as a late-night snack, and served them with dipping sauces. Reception remained mixed. Modern crews are changing, though. Workers increasingly demand high-protein, low-fat, health-conscious meals. Some rigs now display calorie and macronutrient counts for all menu items to support fitness-focused workers who lift weights in the onboard gym. The stereotype of heavy, greasy offshore food is fading, but the themed weekly menu tradition is not going anywhere. And if the cook gets it wrong, the consequences are measured in dollars and departures. Daily food budgets range from $4 to $22 per person depending on contract, region, and era. A large Gulf of Mexico vessel during peak oil prices spent $30,000 per week on groceries. That is the annual budget of a small town's public works department, spent every 7 days. When oil prices crash, catering budgets tighten. Menus shift. Crew satisfaction drops. Workers quit. Poor food drives turnover, and companies know it. They track crew feedback on meals and adjust contracts accordingly. The galley isn't a perk. It's an operational necessity. You can have the best blowout preventer, the most advanced dynamic positioning system, the newest drilling fluid technology. But if the crew isn't fed well, morale collapses and people leave. The rig can't function without people, and people can't function without food. Let's clear up a few myths. Myth 1, offshore food is all greasy, heavy fare. Reality, modern rigs cater to health-conscious crews. Some galleys display calorie counts and macros. Workers demand lean protein and vegetables. Australian offshore operations in 2024 report significant shifts toward fitness-focused menus. The old stereotype is outdated. Myth 2, you need an engineering degree to work offshore. Reality, galley roles such as night cook, galley hand, and camp boss are entry-level paths into oil and gas with no degree required. Salaries range from $25,000 annually for galley hands to $60,000 for catering managers. It is one of the few on-ramps into the industry that does not require technical certifications or years of experience. Myth 3, offshore cooks just follow recipes. Reality, they are inventory managers, logistics coordinators, and morale officers. They plan weeks ahead, manage walk-in freezers, adapt menus in real time when supply deliveries are delayed by weather or equipment failure, and balance crew preferences with budget constraints. It is half cooking, half supply chain management, and entirely invisible until it fails. So, a cook 150 miles offshore has 18 minutes to feed 100 workers, and the menu was planned 6 weeks ago. The groceries arrived last Tuesday by helicopter. The steak is thawing in the walk-in. The crew knows it is Tuesday because tacos are on the menu. And if the cook miscalculated portion sizes, there is no backup plan until next week's delivery. This is industrial feeding at scale, half logistics and half ritual, entirely invisible until it fails. The rig runs on drilling mud, blowout preventers, and dynamic positioning. But it runs because someone planned the menu in advance, ordered the right amount of eggs, and got breakfast out in 18 minutes while the night baker prepped cinnamon rolls for the next shift. If you want more deep dives like this, subscribe. Tell me in the comments which part of offshore rig life I should break down next, the mechanics, the medics, or the helicopter pilots.